Welcome parents to Foundations of English 9 for Wednesday the 16th of September 2020. In this video we're going to go over a few important things like who I am, what we do in this course, how you can support your students, and then how to contact me if you have issues. Now the scope of this presentation today is just to give you an overview of the course. It is not to answer individual questions that you might have about your student or their performance. So if you have those kinds of questions, there's my contact information later in the presentation. Please send me an email and I'd be happy to talk to you about it. However, if you have questions about something in the presentation, you have access to the live chat, so you can ask there. If you're watching this back later, you can, again, email me. So first, I want to talk about how excited I am to be your child's teacher. I love the Gaston Virtual Academy. I'm so excited to be a teacher here. I know it's been a challenging beginning of the year, but I have full confidence in our classes and our administrators and our teachers that this is going to get easier as time goes on, not only for the students, but for the teachers and the parents as well. So a little about me. I've been teaching for 17 years. This is actually my 17th. I taught for 13 years in California, from everything from middle school English and history up to high school physics and English and history and test prep. So I've taught a really wide range of things. This is my 4th year in North Carolina. Most recently, I was at Bessemer City High School for the past 3 years. I'm an Apple Distinguished Educator, a Google Certified Innovator, and a PBS Digital Innovator. Those are very selective honors that are given to only a few teachers every year, and I've been lucky enough to have all 3 of them. I also am an author, I have a YouTube channel, and I'm a wife and a mom. You can see a picture of my 2-year-old Eliza and my husband Andrew, who's also a teacher in the Gaston Virtual Academy. So the Foundations of English 9 is meant to be a prep course for English 9. So first semester you take Foundations, second semester you would take English 9. And my goal as the teacher of Foundations of English 9 is to prepare your student for English 9. That means we do a ton of reading and writing and developing language ability and vocabulary, because those are the 4 things that are the core of the English practice. Now in English 9, you're going to do the traditional English 9 things like Romeo and Juliet and the Odyssey and short stories and poetry. I may not be your child's teacher for English 9. I may be. We don't know yet. But I am going to get them ready based on the standard course of study for 9th grade. So here's the major work for the course. We start on Canvas. Now Canvas is most helpful to you as a parent if you are in there as an observer. Parents, you can see the daily work, you can see your student's grade, and for the most part, you won't see their specific assignments in Canvas because the way that work is submitted in Canvas has been really buggy this year, and I was just not happy with it. So I decided to offload that to Google Classroom. So we're going to use Google Classroom anytime a document is required. I will still post the assignment instructions in Canvas and all the videos, but the student needs to go into Google Classroom in order to complete that document. We're also using Quill, which is tutorials on language and syntax and grammar. We're using ReadWorks almost daily, which is articles building their background knowledge on lots of different subjects and building their ability to read expository texts and write about them. And then we're using quizzes to learn etymology. And etymology is the study of how words break apart. It's one of the most powerful ways that you can expand your vocabulary. And vocabulary is everything when it comes to breaking down new texts and being able to understand things well. So how can you best help your student? On Canvas, you can become an observer. That lets you go in and see what they've done, what they've turned in, and see their grades. I would recommend doing that once a week at minimum. In Google Classroom, you can ask students to see their specific assignments, especially if you have questions about something that they submitted or didn't submit. You can encourage and model reading in the home. This is one of the most powerful things you can do for kids of all ages. The more students read, the better they will be able to read and the more they will be able to understand. But most importantly, you need to make sure your student is showing up every day to our live class. And you can check their attendance in PowerSchool at the end of the week. Now, students can also get attendance credit if they complete the assignments for the day, but attending that live class is so important. That's the schedule right there. Each of those times are every day but Wednesdays. Wednesdays we do not have live class. So your student needs to plan on attending. That link to Google Meet is always in Google Classroom. It's always the same one and it's available as soon as the class time starts. Here's what we do in those live classes. We start with a question that students answer in chat. That way I have a record of who's there, and if there's ever a question, I can go back to that record and I can see, yes, you were there that day. Then we watch a video like this one. Now the reason I do a video is that it's available later for students who miss class. It's also available that you can go back and re-watch if you're confused or need help again. And also it frees me up. So I do have a 2-year-old who's home with me, but that also means that I can answer students' questions and help them as they join. So if a student comes late, they're not just stuck while I'm live teaching, and I don't have to pause the class so that everyone has to wait while they come in. I'm able to answer immediately, get them the links they need, answer questions about the video, and really just take attendance and do all of those administrative things that are so tough to do when you teach live at the same time. It really maximizes the instructional time that we have together, and again, provides that resource if students have to miss class for some reason. Finally, there's independent work. Now, the video takes up about half of the class time, but that other half is where we start assignments. So especially on complex assignments, it's really important that students have that last few minutes in class to get started on things, to see if they have questions, and then to get help. And I'm available at the end of class every day so that they can do that. Now, we also do quizzes at the end of class. So we're on a 2-week cycle where we have 1 week where you take the test at the end of class every day, and on Friday your score counts for a quiz grade. The following week, students can either take it for the first time if they missed class the previous week, or they can retest and replace the grade they got the first time if they're not happy with it. Another really important thing to know about is the weekly organizing documents. At the beginning of the week, I post them on Classroom and on Canvas. I post them in every day's assignment on Canvas so that students can go back and check. And I provide the document so that they can go through, and you can see there's a column here that they can check off what they've completed as they complete it. It gives all the assignments for the week, where to complete them, and when they're due. And that way I really try to help students stay organized as they go through this class, because I know this can be overwhelming for students and also for parents. So check that organizing document with your student every week. It would be a great practice for you to sit down with them maybe on Thursday afternoon and go through it and see what have they done so far for the week, if they need to go back and do something, because all of the assignments in my class build on each other. So if you miss a couple of them, the later assignments become more difficult to do. Like today, your student is writing a summary. That summary is based on the work we've been doing for the last 3 weeks. So if they've missed big portions of that work, today's summary is going to be a whole lot harder than if they've done all of it. Here's how you can contact me. The best way is always email. I check it throughout the day and into the evening and even late at night sometimes. My email address is there on the screen, my full name at gaston.k12.nc.us. You can also message me through Canvas if you're in there as an observer of your student. You can use that phone number. Text is preferred just because it's a whole lot easier for me to get to quickly. My office hours for each class are there. Office hours are meant to be times where students can pop into a Google Meet and talk to me. They can get help on something. If they're struggling with makeup work, they can talk to me about that. It can also be small group work time. I may ask your student to come to office hours, otherwise it's by appointment. So students need to email me and say, I need to meet with you during office hours today. All right, if you have questions for me, please put them in the chat, or now after the video you can ask out loud. You can also email me. Now, keep in mind that I can't answer individual student questions during this time because of the setting that we're in. So if you have individual questions about your student, please ask me via email. I'm happy to help. So thank you for coming, and I look forward to being your student's teacher for the rest of the semester.